Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very unique episode of the DeathPiles and Taxes. This is social distancing at its best. Derek Everitt here, Leroy Everitt, in my own personal basement. And with me is Adam Beasley back at the Adam Up Accounting Studio. Adam, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Hey, will you run upstairs and tell your mom that I hope she's doing well?
I said I was at my basement, not your basement.
Oh, I thought your mom was upstairs.
No, we're keeping the social distance, man.
Oh, well, I agree with that. We should be social distancing.
You know, I have my own house, Adam.
Oh, okay.
You've been here many times.
That's true, I have. You got quite the death pile.
Hey, did you hear what I just popped?
What did you just pop?
I found these, whoa. You got a drum set over there? What's going on?
It's just all my dues, my due
there we
30s.
go. I have a Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Baja Blast. Have you seen these yet?
Oh, man, I did see those come out. Not a big Baja guy, but...
These are good, man.
Good
These
stuff.
are good. If you have an opportunity, I would say go ahead and try that. So me and Adam are different places, so if the recording comes off a little funky or if we talk over each other or something, hey, we're just trying to be safe and do what the right thing is to do. So I guess just leading with that, because sometimes, things just don't work out like they should or sound a little different. If that's the case, that's why. But a lot of good feedback, Adam, from last week's episode. How about you?
Man, I don't know what you did, but there's some good things coming in. I had a chance to listen this morning, and I liked it. I love it. I wanted some more of it.
Hey, I need to throw this out. So we had Michael Painter in the studio with us. I'm going to be putting out some Husky sections that we recorded. We kind of talked about it in the episode a little bit. These will be just little short clips, not a whole episode, but just kind of break up the monotony. Everyone's stuck at home having some fun. So if you guys see some things drop, it may not all be reseller related. Some things we talked about were a little goofy. You get me and Mike together, and we about drive Adam crazy. But it was a good time, man.
It was a good time. I enjoyed it. Little hard wrestling talks when it came to a few things, but I was all right with it.
It was a lot of Tiger talk, and it was a lot of wrestling talk. But, hey, Adam, I'm getting some pictures pushed through here. Now, when am I supposed to look at these?
You can look at them right now if you'd like.
Okay, Adam has some big stories of the week, so I'm just going to... He teased me earlier in the week. Maybe you should tell the people what's going on, and I'll look at these, and we can go down that road.
It was one of those, the ultimate pick, like the unbelievable of unbelievable picks. Last week we talked about this huge stimulus package that's coming through. There's a big part of it that deals with small businesses that some eBay businesses will be able to get. It's called the EDIL loan. It's like a $10,000 forgiven loan that they're going to help stimulate the economy with. So anyways, I filled that out for a lot of clients, and I tried to do the proactive thing. I went through my phone and called a bunch of friends or old clients, just people that I knew, to let them know about this, this potential $10,000, because that's just the kind of guy I am, right?
You are. I got one of those calls myself.
So, and I did. I made sure we threw it in for your company, because who knows? Like, right now, business is up, but we don't know. I mean, you might burn through that death pile, and you're not going to have anything left to sell here pretty quick.
Well, it's probably a good thing for the people at home, people listening in. You may be eligible for this, so either hit up Adam or an accountant and see if there's something you qualify for.
Yeah.
Stimulus had a lot of weird things in there, so a quick plug there.
So I was doing that, and I called a friend, and he lives in Nevada. We grew up together. It's one of those things, just like your high school buddies. Like, you haven't talked for years, but you call, and it's just like you were, 18 again. And anyways, we got talking about a lot of different things, and I brought up the pot. We brought about cards. We got into some heavy card talk pretty quick. because he was always like, he was way better at sports than I was. Like, I mean, I told you, my dream was to be the payroll accountant for the Padres. I mean, this kid could hustle. Like, he was, he was a good ball player. He's a good little ball player, as Penny would say. But anyways, we a lot of sports things. A lot of my sports memories are with him. Watched the Dallas Cowboys and Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. Watched a ton of and one, different basketball things. So we got talking about it, and
I'm back, man. It dropped technology and all that kind of thing. I can see you now, though.
You can see me. I can't see you.
That's probably a good thing.
Well, yeah.
Hey, let's get back in that story, man. We're just getting the good stuff. You're hanging out with this guy. He was
so friend from high school.
All the high school sports, all that. That's about where it dropped out for me.
Yes. So, anyways, he told me about this event that his high school age son went to. Some sort of like a dance or something in this guy's house, and this guy has this tremendous sports collection, like greatest you could ever see that's not in a museum. I'm not sure. Did you see any of the pictures that I sent across?
Yeah, pictures have been sent through. I didn't want to spoil anything. If take away your thunder, man. There is some unique, one of a kind, awesome items.
So I'll start kind of at the beginning. I didn't want to, I gave some teases earlier this week, but Olympic torches, several Michael Jordan pictures, Michael Jordan jerseys. I'll just hit on one of the top three. Well, I don't know. They're all top, whatever. There is a Montreal Expos uniform that was game worn by Pete Rose when he hit his 2000s hit.
Yeah. So wait a minute. This is your buddy stuff, or this is the guy's?
It's not my buddy stuff. It's in this a guy that he knows, but they're direct pictures. They're it's not a he said. This was a Kevin Bacon second degree.
Okay, gotcha.
But so there's that Pete Rose. There's high school game worn LeBron jerseys. Michael Jordan, minor league stuff. But the holy grail of all resale items you could ever see were in these pictures. And that's really the point I wanted to bring up.
Well, wait a minute. There was the O.J. Simpson Heisman Trophy.
Exactly.
So how'd this guy go ahead and get all this stuff?
There was actually a Sports Illustrated article written on him, and that's why I feel comfortable about sharing this information in a public format, because you can go to Sports Illustrated and read the article. But somehow this guy found this OJ memorabilia, and we've talked about this before, because I got a pretty, not an in with OJ, but familiar with his work, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you guys are buddies. You go way back.
Well, he was at the Indian Springs Detention Center, which was right over the hump from Pahrump. So he somehow got a hold of O.J. Simpson's Heisman Trophy.
That's insane.
Could you imagine what that would fetch on eBay?
Oh, it would get you a couple. Get you a couple of those Benjamins.
Because we're not going to get into whether the he said, she said of what happened with the OJ trial, although I did see a tweet come across that kind of changed the way I thought the other day.
Yeah.
But he did go to prison for breaking into a hotel room at the Palace Station in Las Vegas to try and steal back his own memorabilia, which I'm pretty sure this was in that lot.
That's what I was going to say. This is probably something that he actually went to jail to try to steal back. So
yes.
I don't know if that makes it more valuable or not, but it's definitely a conversation starter.
So getting into O.J. Simpson's Heisman Trophy is in a guy in Reno's basement, and my friend sent me pictures of it, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So he told me if we get out to that area, he will do his best to get us to see this collection.
I think we can get to Reno pretty easily. I mean, it's world's biggest little city or whatever.
Yeah, the world's littlest big city.
We're little city big guys.
Big league.
So, yeah, you had the Kobe high school jersey. Yeah, that was an impressive collection just from the pictures you sent over.
Yes, very, very. I couldn't figure it out, man. I was still in shock, and I know it'd be one thing different if it was like, a collection that I'm well aware of, but you got to be kidding me, man. Like, seriously? Who has that kind of a collection?
That's what I was saying. I mean, does this guy need some, game-worn John Stockton, Carmelone Dream Team shoes? Because I might know a guy.
That's what I'm saying. We might be able to send him the hookups, and we'll see what we can do from there, man.
A motivated seller. Yeah, well, Adam sent over a couple pictures earlier. I called him, and I said, hey, what's the story on this? And I had to wait for the podcast, so I'm hearing it for the first time just as well as everyone else out there.
Yeah, it is new information. So that was the bombshell. I didn't want to build it up too much, but when I saw it, it was extremely crazy. Again, I couldn't quite believe it till I saw it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, why don't you throw over some of those pictures this week on the Facebook groups so people can see what we're talking about?
I will do that.
Wow. Well, with a week of not much going on, you found some stuff going on, my friend. He
will. It was, I don't know, just one of those crazy things. So, a lot going on. This Corona thing is definitely interesting. It's kind of been, kind of put a pin in people wanting to get their tax returns done unless they hadn't filed for 2018 and they wanted that stimulus money.
Yep.
I don't know. Can I share with you something that I saw?
No, please do.
Let me pull it up my phone. So give me a little something. You take over.
Okay.
You drive for a second.
You want Jesus to take the wheel over? Is that what you're saying?
Thank you, Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, no, I don't know if everyone got this coupon. I know we didn't talk a lot about sports cards, but I have a 10% off when you spend $50 or more on eBay right now with your sports card. So if you might be out there bidding on, I don't know, big pro wrestling lot that your income talks about on DeathPiles and Taxes in a little bit of some cards, all decked out is your coupon code. All decked out. So that saves you some money, my friends, on things that I know you're buying.
Yeah, and I know, we've got some people, we won't get into it, but we got some people who are spending some large dollars. They're making some big investments, if you know what I mean.
Hey, this week, I might have went a little nuts on eBay. I spent a lot of money on some cards on eBay, so maybe that's why I got the promo code.
A lot of money?
I didn't spend the same amount as who we're talking about, but I bought quite a bit. I have things coming over from England. I got things coming from a guy in Salt Lake who sells wrestling stuff, probably my competition. I found some unique items.
That's crazy. So, this gig economy, this world, it's really nice because, like I said, my office is pretty small. I've got myself, and then I've got two other office staff here. But, I don't know a lot about a lot of things. There's other things I don't specialize in. So that's why these online groups are really good because you share information with each other. This lady was posting, and she had a quagmire, if you will, about one of her clients. She had a client who was really looking forward to be able to claim the personal economic stimulus package. And as part of that, you had to have filed your 2018 return or 19. He hadn't filed for 18, but you want to hear about his issue?
Let's hear it.
He made about $47,000 cash, and he hadn't reported the income. He didn't know what to do so that he could get the stimulus package.
So how's one go about that?
And, oh, man, you should have seen the comments in that group. Like, I mean, there's a lot that are entertaining, let's be honest. I mean, it's better than reality TV. It's sure in the heck better than your buddy Tiger Jones or whatever his name is.
Yeah, we'll agree to disagree.
So these people are just lighting up this guy saying, oh, well, you want to take $47,000 cash and not pay any taxes on it, but now you want a stimulus? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, it's America. We want it all, and we don't want to have to pay any.
Yeah, we want both.
So what was the conclusion, or were they just sharing that information there?
They were just sharing the information, kind of saying, hey, this is what's going on, what should I do? And everybody says, like, hey, he's already taken money from the government. I mean, it's your responsibility to tell him to file his taxes, especially with that knowledge, but he's not going to get anything from whatever he's going to get from the stimulus. He's going to owe more in taxes anyways. So
yeah. Well, why don't you do a quick breakdown, because I know there's a lot on Facebook. Everyone's mom and uncle and aunt has a take on how you get this money or what's happening. I know we talked a little bit about that $10,000 forgiveness loan thing. Just do a quick breakdown from our resellers on what is going on, at least as far as you know. Just so you know, you're not relying on what Uncle Pete put on Facebook.
I will do that. So as a part of this huge, they call it the CARES Acts, the Corona something, everybody's going to get money. Whether you are a individual, and again, we talked about that last week, Mike Painter's going to be well over that because he's a 1%er, so he won't get the person.
Both of you, actually.
Sure. So what will happen is if you made less than $150,000, you will get the full amount, $1,200 per person actual on the filing status. So if you have a significant other, you'll get $1,200 each, and then $500 per child who's less than the age of 17. So if I had one client we just talked with yesterday, we just filed as 18, in fact. He and his wife will qualify for the $2,400, and they did their part in multiplying and replenishing the earth. They have 5 children, so they will get $500 each for each child. So they're going to be looking at a total of $4,900. And
not bad money.
And that will be direct deposited into his account, allegedly starting in 4 weeks. But from what I'm hearing, I mean, they are just bombarded. Like, they're doing everything they can to help it. But the problem is they can't get enough people to work to be able to process everything. So I would tell you, do not count on this money coming, and it'll be like you won a scratcher ticket and you didn't even know you applied for it. You know what I mean?
This is the one time that the lottery, actually, the email that says you won the lottery, click here and get your money, actually is accurate as far as you got money is to have the blue.
Correct. And you won't need to do anything. Like it says, it's just going to show up if you had direct deposit information on your tax returns. Now, there's going to be a lot of problems if people, had changed banks or if they changed addresses. This is going to be an ongoing 12-month thing. This is not a quick fix. If you didn't have banking information, they will mail you a check. But by that time, the world could be over. The post office could be shut down. They could run out. The bank is foreclosed on us. China now runs the world. Who knows?
FDIC insured, right?
Yeah, don't count on that. So that's
with the so with that, but what's for the small business owners? I think there's some people probably interested. I've seen a lot of talk in the community. It's break down that.
There's so much misinformation, which that's the hard part. Is even Congress, like they just threw in another update Tuesday about 5:30 at night. So this is all brand new. I mean, literally, we're talking, less than 48 hours old on the details. And even now, the details are fuzzy. Most people who are listening to this podcast will not qualify for the PPP. And I'm not talking PCP, those things you used to take in high school. I'm talking about the PPP, the Payroll Protection Program.
Okay.
That's
what is the PPP?
The PPP, I'm down with OPP, yeah, you know me. It deals with larger companies that have payroll. Essentially, get nerdy with it. They will pay for 2.5 months of your payroll. So let's just say your average payroll was $10,000 a month. They will give you 2.5 times of that, so $25,000. You'll have to prove through 941s, through statements that you've been affected by this, that you use that money to apply for this, and allegedly it will be forgiven. So essentially, you're going to get $25,000 for free $99.
And, of course, with that, you're going to have to work with an accountant or somebody that knows what's up to file all the right paperwork. This isn't the kind of thing that you can just do on your own on your free time when we're talking this kind of money and volume and all that, correct?
And the PPP has to be applied through SBA loan package, which is only done through specific banks. U.S. Bank is a large national chain that takes care of it. There are other locals depending on where you're at. Chase Bank, Zions here locally. There's several different avenues. So that would be if you have payroll. If it's just you as a reseller, and you're bringing in, 70,000 plus. And again, we don't know the numbers. So maybe if you only brought in 15, 20,000, you might be able to get part of the EDIL loan, which is the Economic Disaster Injury Loan. And that's the $10,000 that I applied for in my behalf and in your behalf.
Okay. So how's that one work?
Allegedly, I mean, you go on, it's a pretty straightforward process. You have to enter in your name, social security number, your sales that you had for the previous 12 months, a couple different things, and your banking and router information. And they're saying, they said 3 days. I just read something today. Now they're saying 5 to 7 days, but that should just be direct deposited into your account.
Now, this is one of those sounds too good to be true, even we were talking about it earlier in the week. I mean, who's processing this? How are they going through the application and getting that done so fast?
I have no idea. And neither does anyone else.
But you're saying to the resellers out there, people listening to our podcast, if you're doing this even kind of part-time, this is worth looking into or trying out.
Absolutely. Like I said, if it's on SBA.gov. It's very straightforward. Now they've kind of like buried it in the Corona-19 thing, so you'll have to spend a little bit of time. But this specific one is the EDIL loan that is forgiven. So it's essentially, again, it's a $10,000 money grab.
And do you have to have any sort of, I don't know, do you have a LLC,
no,
anything like that?
You can do it as a sole proprietor. That's what they're saying. Again, I'll believe it when I see it, but said we applied for it in your behalf, so my behalf, several of my other clients, we'll see what happens, man.
Hey, and if you're out there listening, AdamUpAccounting.com, chat with Adam. He can walk you through it. He can help you out. He'll take good care of you. So
this is the wild, wild west.
Yeah, man. So all sorts of craziness going. What are you and your family up to? I know everyone's on lockdown. You guys been doing anything interesting? Board games? What's up?
You know, I've been here doing taxes late. I pretty much get home, eat dinner, help out with a little bit, maybe play with kids for a minute, go to sleep, and come back and do it all over again.
So still pretty busy with the taxes filing in.
It's not even, it's the taxes. Honestly, it has slowed down because most people come April time, they owe money and they're not real keen on filing and paying that money. With the extension on paying your taxes personally, that deadline extended to July 15th. Most people have kind of said, we'll get with you in 2 months.
Okay.
But I have spent, it's been crazy. Like, I spent countless hours. I've probably spent 30 hours in the last week watching webinars, different accounting groups, trying to find out specifically about these loans so that I feel confident letting my clients know that they will qualify for this. And can I tell you the one spot that I've probably found the most details about this EDIL whatever loan?
Oh, please do.
Reddit.
Really?
Absolutely. Again, like it says, my profession, there aren't a lot of, that do what I do. There's a lot of young accountants, but there's not a lot of accountants in their, mid-30s. That's where I'm at, allegedly.
Mid, yeah. Yeah, we'll say mid.
That are really outside of Facebook savvy. And, a lot of people on there, they're pretty safe. They're not a lot of, this is a lot of details. But I was looking on Twitter, found some information on Twitter, searching the hashtag EDIL, and found some information, and then it took me into Reddit, and man, did I deep dive in there, man. I deep dive.
Okay, I went down that rabbit hole, huh?
I did, and I found some good information. And I will say, as of this point, I have some very good feelings, certainties that we have done everything correct. There are a couple things that they're saying you might only get $1,000 instead of the $10,000. But again, this is all speculation because nobody's gotten the money yet because it literally just opened Monday, which for us was 5 days ago.
Well, that's the weird thing is who's going through and sorting through all this, like you're saying, they can't get people to work. Who's going to decide who gets 10, who gets 1, who gets somewhere in the middle? I see this as just being, like you're saying, a big mess, and here, hopefully sooner than later, you just have a bank account and magic money appears. But if you're out there, you're struggling, you're reselling, don't think this isn't applicable to you. You're not big enough or whatever. Give it a try. Worst case scenarios, they decline you. It doesn't mean you're going to prison or anything like that. So it's worth trying to get it because the money's there to help us. I mean, people like us that are trying to sell stuff are just as important as the bigger brands and bigger companies that definitely will be taking advantage of this.
Yeah, there's There's just so much, man. It is a literally fire hose that no one's holding on to.
And that's the thing. I'm sure at some point this will all get straightened out, and we'll move on from it. But you got a lot of moving parts. You got a lot of different ideas. You got states that everyone's on lockdown. You got states where no one's on lockdown. You got severe cases here. It's just a weird time. So I can see with the government. I'm usually not too empathetic, but I can see where this could be a mess and a hard one to straighten out and get people to work to do this kind of stuff anyways isn't really great. And then you throw in you have to work from home or you have to be 6 feet away from each other. It's just a mess. I mean, everyone in the world right now kind of realizes what we're up against. So
yeah,
if it doesn't happen, in a couple of weeks, don't think that Adam was lying to you or that we just made something up. It might be one of those things where the government just can't keep up and pushes it back. But if your application's in there, you're on the list somewhere, right?
Yeah, you will be in there. It's going to happen. There's so much that's going on that, again, it's hard to get correct information. The unfortunate part of this is there's going to be a tremendous amount of fraud that's going to happen. Unfortunately, that's just the world that we live in. So if you're getting somebody calling you to say, hey, give me your account information, don't. You can really, the only place to apply for this is through SBA.gov or through one of your actual lending institutions. So please be careful.
Yeah, and just use your brain. The government will never call you and tell you, hey, you got some money. They will never send you an email and instigate it. I mean, if you know anything, you have to go to them. They're not going to come to you unless you are going to prison, in which case you'll see the officers and warrants and affidavits. That's just how the government works, right?
Yeah, so it's very careful. But again, I mean, I have some people telling me like, well, I don't necessarily need it or I don't know why I should take it. The government is doing everything in their power to make sure this economy doesn't crash. Whether you feel, I mean, we don't know what the lasting things are going to be. I mean, we might be locked up and this might be the podcast norm for the next 3 months, which I sure hope not.
I hope not, but it's definitely a possibility. I mean, we every week it seems like it gets a little more intense and a little more amplified, so...
It is definitely strange. So
yeah, you might not think you need the money or whatever now, but at worst case, take it and donate it to a charity when it's all over. I mean, just it's there, it's set apart. It's not like if you don't. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's not like if you don't get it, your neighbor will.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there. So
I like.
I guess if you don't apply if you don't want to apply. We're not holding a gun to your head or anything, but also don't think. This could go for months. You might be good now, but 2 or 3 months down the road, who knows?
Yeah, there's so much stuff going on. It's insane. So, do you want to change gears?
Yeah, I'll change gears a little bit. I'm afraid to minimize this screen because last time I did, we disconnected. So I don't have my show notes necessarily in front of me, so I'll just be shooting from the hip a little bit if you're good with that.
When do you have show notes?
Every week, my friend. Every week. Don't you lie to our good listeners.
No.
I come more prepared than an Eagle Scout.
I bet you do. Well, why don't we hold on? Just let's put a pin. Let's try and make sure this first half worked. And
if you're not on Visible Mobile, what are you doing with your life? You just must like to waste money. Visible Mobile, Adam. What is it? I'm here to tell you, it's a new phone service running on your Verizon network. You can pay as little as $25 now. They've got this new thing that's called a party plan.
the party line.
It's like a family plan, except for you don't have to go around and collect all the money from everyone. Everyone pays their own bill.
I don't have to Venmo my cousin.
You don't have to Venmo your cousin Eddie. You don't have to go down that trailer park and try to wake up Granny and tell her, get out of your wagon and give me your money.
So you're saying I need to get on Visible Mobile to start saving money every single month.
All in, $40 a month, down to $25 depending on how your party plan goes. You get unlimited everything. You get the best coverage there is available. You have a mobile hotspot included. Of course, when you go there, you're going to use our promo code. Adam, do you remember our promo code?
Not yet.
It is BVWVQ. And let me say that for you phonetically. That's Bravo, Victor, Whiskey, Victor, Quebec.
Go to Visible Mobile. Well, it's that time of the year. It's time to file your taxes. What a daunting task. Can you imagine sitting in your basement, taking all 12 months of all your receipts and just trying to figure that out?
I got that shoebox full of receipts, and I'm going to make this work.
And then what do? You get online and you try and figure it out yourself. It ain't worth it, man. Hey, you need to file your taxes. Go to adamupaccounting.com. We'd be happy to help you. We understand resellers like crazy. We know how to file your taxes. We know how to put all your expenses in the right categories. We know how to take care of it timely, that you feel like, oh, this is well worth it. I should have been doing this my entire life. Look at Derek. Look what he used to be. And look what we've got him trained into now.
I'm a champion of the interwebs.
That's what your Twitter says. So go to adamupaccounting.com. You can find us on there. You can message us directly. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to help you out so that we can decrease the stress that you have coming up in the next few months.
We're mixing and matching. We're trying to make the best out of the situation we got right now. I'm sure. I mean, hopefully people are just happy that we're putting out episodes. So, yeah, bear with us while we figure it out.
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely interesting. Like it says, if we can make this work, then we'll be able to pull on some guests from all over the place. You know what I mean?
That's what I think in the future this will pay out in dividends. We were able to get Suzanne, and that one sounded really good. So I probably don't sound as good as Suzanne, but I can try.
That's true. Gene Simmons says you definitely don't look as good either.
Well, I mean, takes one to know one, Gene.
Oh, I did like that little excerpt we had in one of those San Jose things, or the Santa Claras, because most people aren't asking her about that kind of thing, and I believe she enjoyed it.
No, it was a great interview, and like I say, give them, I mean, I know we always do this, but sell hound, especially if you're trying to blow through your death pile right now, and you're at home, just give it a try. They weren't able to go down. South by Southwest was canceled. They were going to blow up, and I think they still will. I think they'll get opportunities to present in front of other people, but it's still kind of the ground floor level. You can get grandfathered in with what they got going, and you can blow through your death piles, especially in clothing. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. So
yeah,
save yourself some work and let them take care of it for you.
There's just a lot going on in this world. So second half, you got some good news for me, D-Roy. How are you going to make me money right now? Because I hear that you are a busy man.
I am, and I do got a couple stories to get into, but first off, I mean, am I allowed to talk about what happened at the card shop the other day? Is this allowed to be discussed on the air? Or?
You better tell us what happened. You better tell them tell the people what happened.
Well, after last week's episode, we kind of got excited, and the three of us, the Husky section, we'll call it, decided to go visit our buddy Phil down there at the card shop. And old Adam, you just picked some packs up, and you were shouting like you'd won the lottery, my friend.
It was a good day because I feel like I really did.
Why don't you tell the people what happened?
Well, we went down there and we had a couple doll hairs to spend, and we were each. Well, you'd already spent your allowance, but Paney had some money he wanted to spend too. But I wanted to
stimulate the local economy.
That's right. Well, hey, we'll give money to Phil left and right. But I had a couple things I wanted to buy, and I pulled the Don Rest packs. You know, Phil, he's always trying to wheel and give me a good deal. And I'm like, Phil, stop undercharging me, man. You need to make some money. So I pulled two of the packs, and in 2 packs, I pulled 3 Luka Donka rookie cards.
And you were walking on air. I've never seen you that excited for quite some time.
And it's not like these. So, first thing I do, I pull them up, and I'm amazed at what PSA grading will do to cards. I mean, these cards raw, like the combined 3 of them, like raw value, is probably like $120 raw value. Or I'm obviously going to get all 3 of them graded. If I throw in all 3 of them graded, right now, kind of in the market, I mean, they were probably looking close to about $500.
That's insane.
So,
yeah, I mean,
pretty
that's
excited about that is what I was.
So I was pretty excited. He's the first guy I've ever heard Phil was going to give him a discount or said, you do this, I'll give you this deal now. I said, no, take my money. Just take my money. Take more of it.
Yes, Phil, please take my money. I don't.
It was a good time.
Can I send you a spoiler alert too?
Yes, sir.
I went back and got more.
So I was talking to Phil yesterday, and he was saying something about Adam getting some stuff, and I was a little confused. I thought maybe he'd worked a few too many hours. He was telling me about some autograph, and I just thought, no, he had the Luca cards. So I kind of ignored it. But I was going to bring it up here on the episode to see you did return then.
All right. Well, give me just a second. I've got to run. Hold on 1 second.
All right. Well, Adam runs away. Are we still recording?
I took it off the Skype. You want me to leave it recording?
I can keep talking, and you can run and get it either
Okay.
way.
Well, D-Roy, you're back.
Well, yeah. Well, Adam runs away. I know we talked a lot about cards. We have an episode coming out, but it's just one of those things as far as reselling. Kind of connects us to what we grew up with. It's really easy to find. I mean, it's one of those things that who knows what they're really worth or the market long-term value. But right now, great time, a lot of select cards, a lot of opportunities there. And when Adam's talking about a raw card, just means like a card you got out of a pack. And grading something that we've talked about before. Unfortunately, right now, the whole state of California is shut down. So we're looking to get our cards graded, but PSA's backlogged, so it's going to be a long time before we hear what actually happens with these cards. But Adam, you're back.
Man, you can watch me, huh?
I can see you.
Man, I don't know.
I put on pants just in case you could see me. Out of respect.
Well, that's different than what we get in the studio, so I appreciate that, I
Well,
guess.
Well, you know the internet. I don't need that getting leaked out. So what'd you grab?
So, man, I don't know. Phil's been good to me. That's all I can tell you.
So, yeah, so I go back yesterday after work. It's kind of my Friday ritual. I'll go visit Phil for a little bit and get a couple cards. And he was telling me about some stuff Adam got, and I had no clue. And I didn't call or bother you because I knew we'd be talking today. So
I pulled another Luca, another rookie card, which that's probably another $150 card. I pulled some baseball because I want to, I'm trying to diversify my portfolio, if you know what I mean.
Was this all out of the same packs then, the same type?
Yeah, I pulled
got last week.
Yeah, same pack. I pulled the other Luca, and Phil. I mean, because I spent a little bit of money there. Phil's like, hey, let me give you one of these packs, because I told him, I'm like, Phil, I got a $100 bill, and you're getting all of it. So he threw in this,
where to put it. Huh?
Yeah, he threw in this other NBA hoops pack, and only has like 8 cards in it, which is great. But I pulled a Ja Morant rookie card, and same thing on that one, graded. It's about another $150 card. So I pulled another lot of things. I went ahead and pulled the trigger on a signed Jerry Sloan card.
Oh, I've seen that card. That's a good-looking card.
It's now in my possession. I also, in that same NBA hoops pack that I pulled the J. Morant rookie card, I also pulled a signed Cam Reddish card.
Man, you're just living right. I think you need to go up and buy a couple of Powerball tickets before the world starts getting back on its axis.
So and that's the thing, is you always look on solds, and yes, it's not sold, but just what the exact comparables, I mean, what I've got sitting here is realistic. It's probably close to $1,000.
And all said and done into it, about what are you into it at?
Oh, less than 100, if that.
Okay, so I mean, just for the people out there that are kind of interested or wanting to dip their toes, it's another, like we say, the cost of entry, the barrier of entry is pretty low. With cards, though, I'd say definitely do your research and learn what you're looking for, or somebody will sell you just junk. So
yeah, definitely look.
That.
I got into some baseball cards because it's baseball season if the corona ends.
If not, they're going to be playing in empty stadiums, is what they're saying. And I thought, well, what's the difference, right?
I pulled a rookie Suzuki Kikuchi card. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you did.
Some rookie guy that's coming out of Japan.
You didn't laugh at my empty stadium joke.
Oh, was that a joke?
Well, I mean, what's the difference, right?
I get it. You're saying that we don't care about baseball anymore. I see that.
I'm saying not a lot of attendance at a lot of Major League games, especially early in the season.
Well, and that's why a lot of this Gary Vee says, hey, you got to be invested in these guys. So now I'm a big Pete Alonso guy, and if he hits a garbage home run in the 7th inning against the the Houston Oilers,
Yeah.
Well, all I'm hoping he gets to 50 at the end of the year, because it doesn't matter where they came throughout the whole entire year.
Well, if the Oilers are on the field, we got some problems, but go ahead.
Edmonton Oilers?
So what's this Cam Radish? I mean,
he's a rookie that plays for the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, again, one of those rising stars. You usually have about 10 you're looking on, and literally it's a gamble. Like, if these guys do well, then the card value goes up. So...
I'm afraid with you and Painter, you might be getting your own PSA accounts, and we might just be going our separate ways on this group stuff. You guys are going to have enough to send them in and take advantage of some of the premium offers.
Well, it depends on if you pick up a new host.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I always auditioning? Always auditioning.
I know that you are. You're always out there looking, and I will promise you're not going to find another guy that has the tax influence that I do, so you might as well just stop.
That's guaranteed. I'm not even going to argue that. I got to tell you this story. I kind of had a weird story happen this week. I know you won't believe it with me, but...
Well, I just want to tell you that if you do, the DeathPiles and taxes will be no more, and you'll just have the husky hustling section, and nobody wants that.
I don't know. Us Husky fellas definitely have outkicked our coverage on more than one occasion.
Well, that's a true statement, especially after this... bombshell of a find. I like that term. Everybody in the media uses it. The bombshell find that one Michael Painter found.
Yeah, I'm going to let him come in and talk about that one. I think that's going to be a full episode. I'm wondering, he's got some cards. I'm not going to go too much into it, but once they get graded and stuff, this might be, as far as the world and where they came from, this might be, this is very, very huge.
Yes.
I don't even know. He's enormous. Man, that guy is luckier than a two-tailed skunk sometimes, my friend.
Yes, so, all right, so tell me your story, my friend.
All right. So I'm listing stuff, I think it was last Saturday or Sunday, and I get a message from just a random person, and they say, hey, I got something, you want to buy it from me? And this is over eBay, which, you might get approached from people that you've done stuff in the past with, or on, locally. I have people contact me and say, hey, I got more of this stuff you bought from me. Do you want it? I kind of keep in touch with video games and with my wrestling stuff with people. But this was just out of the blue, some guy from New Jersey. And I said, well, I don't know what you got. And he said, well, my son was a ball boy for the Nets. And I've been looking and found some of your stuff. I guess long story short, he had I think it was from the NBA Finals in 2002. He had a chair, like a chair that they used at the game with, the same little backrest that I have from a Bulls series. But this chair was signed by all of the Nets team because his son, I don't know, was a ball boy and they gave him one or something like that. And so I'm like, man, that's cool. What do you want for it? And he couldn't ever give me a price. He's just kind of, well, let me know. He's wanting me to make an offer. And I'm like, dude, I'm definitely not going to throw out what you think. I'm not going to offer you thousands of dollars because the Nets aren't, if it was the Lakers, I told him, who ended up winning the series, and Kobe, you got something, worth a lot of money there. Where it's the Nets, they didn't win the series, it's cool, but there's really a select amount of fans that would be interested in that. And he kind of was getting a little upset with me. And I said, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to cut you down or anything. I'm just being honest with you. Like, it's a cool item. Somebody's going to want it, but I don't think it's worth exactly what you're thinking it's worth, especially when you're saying, throw out the first offer, and I don't want to lowball you and stuff. Well, then he comes back to me and he says, well, I got a game-worn Kobe warm-up that has a 9/11 patch from back during the 9/11. Everyone knows what that is, right?
Yeah.
I think everyone remembers the 9/11 terrorist attacks. So I guess the NBA at that time had a special patch that they were wearing. He has I guess it's not game. It's a warm up that was worn by Kobe, that's signed by Kobe.
Wow.
And I've been trying to work with him on that one because that's something that I am interested in, obviously. But he's kind of busy. He can't get to his warehouse because they're on shutdown, lockdown, whatever. So
quarantine.
I don't know. quarantine, but it's a statewide. He's either in New York or New Jersey, and that's the news as we know. It's pretty, man, it's kind of rough back there right now. But
Yeah.
I may have a lead. I might have a lead there. I don't know what he's going to want for that, but I think that would be an item that is only going to go up in value, obviously.
Yeah.
But just kind of out of the blue, reached out and asking me about this, and when I was telling him that kind of stuff, I'm like, man, I'm not trying to burst your bubble or anything. I'm just trying to be honest with you. And he threw out the phrase, well, you're an expert. You know a lot more about this than I do. And at first I thought he was kind of taking a jab, but then the more I talked to him, I don't know how he found me. I don't know if he listens to the podcast or what, but actually he meant that as a compliment. So I'm used to dealing with you and being called an expert and saying I know what I'm talking about. It's different coming from you than from this guy. So maybe I'm going to go get me a gig on one of these Pawn Star shows or something, where they call me in and I discuss their items. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't want to. The knowledge, the vast knowledge that you and I have, like, so we never want to toot our horns, but it's vast, it's deep. They always talk about spending hours and hours and hours, and you're supposed to have like the 10,000 hour rule. In your realm and in my realm, we're well past that.
Well, yeah, and here's another thing with that. If anyone's interested, reach out to me. I can put you in contact with this guy. I contacted Phil and said, hey, I know we're in Utah, but if you know anyone that wants this, I might be able to get you a pretty good deal. It's a very unique item. I mean, NBA Finals chair from a player, and it's all signed by the Nets team, which was
Jason
if it was
Kidd,
the Lakers
Kerry
team,
Kittles,
it'd be a lot huger.
Kenyon Martin. And I don't want this to, turn into a sports, but unfortunately now...
That's kind of where we're heavy on, but that's kind of our thing right now.
The hard part right now is sourcing is kind of, it's difficult. You can't go to the thrift stores. Yardies are not happening. So, again, we're kind of feeling into our knowns, and sports is a lot of it. Because there are some people talking about buying, pallets of things. Have you ever tried that?
I haven't because of the space-wise, right? You're going to buy a pallet, and you're talking, again, kind of like the Gaylords of last week. A pallet's 40 by 48 in dimension, just size-wise on your floor. That's about 4 feet by a little less than 4 feet, give or take with quick math there on the podcast, which never works good for me. And then you're talking about it's going to be returned items. I've heard good stories, and I've heard horror stories. If you have... a pretty good garage or somewhere to process through all that. It's probably worth a gamble. I've seen some good things and I've seen some bad things, but it is an opportunity to source. There's the Amazon returns, Walmart, Target, all those kind of places do returns and do pallet. You kind of bid through different companies, third-party manufacturer type places that process it, or distributors, I guess, not manufacturers. But I've never got into it. But, clothing, if you can find the right place, it could really probably be pretty profitable.
There's a lot to it. And I think what you were talking about is just finding the right people, the right things. I did something unique this week. I got on Facebook Marketplace, again, trying to look for some cards because that's something I enjoy. And I found this guy who was selling a bunch of basketball cards. And we're talking old basketball cards, like early 60s, mid 70s type cards. So I was like,
okay.
Hey, you know what? This is pretty cool. Again, I said I found on the Facebook Marketplace. There were a couple of pictures. They were pretty vague. And then I started looking, and obviously, the more you look, the more you find. And he had this guy had probably 35 different posts of different cards that he's selling. So obviously he's big into it. I always do my due diligence and found him, he's a big Gary Vee guy, so obviously he knows about the card game. But he had a Wilt Chamberlain card that I was really interested in. And I got on there, like Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Bradley. He had a lot of older cards, and he had the prices listed, and I was like, you know what, let me kind of go through it. Elgin Hayes, Ralph Sampson, Wes Unsall, Jerry West. He had some, cool cards. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to look at it. I went through. If card value that he said, it was about $190. I told him, I'm like, hey, would you take $120 for the lot? And then he sent me a message saying, hey, just so you know, I'm missing 2 cards. The Wilt and the Pete Maravich are gone. And I'm like,
hey, just so you know, the 2 valuable ones that you want aren't here.
So I'm like, you know what? Not real interested. I mean, there's still some cool cards, but again, it's a crapshoot. I'm like, and he's like, well, $95. I'm like, I'm not going to pay $95 for that. But then I asked him, like, well, do you have any other cards? And he's like, yeah. And he pulled out, like, I just tried to send it to you. I mean, he probably has, I don't know, over 1,500 other cards listed.
Well, that's the problem with cards. You can get into, I mean, deep troves. And kind of like what Adam's saying here, though, it might not just be sports cards, but people right now are kind of hard up for money in a lot of areas. So they might be going to the marketplace or I always say KSL, but Craigslist, kind of our local version of classifieds. It's a really good opportunity that you might be able to find some pretty good deals. And also, one of the things I like to do is keep connected with people and say, hey, if you find any more, this is the kind of stuff I'm after. Here's my phone number, and hit me up. And I've been surprised the last couple of weeks. I've had several people reach out to me and say, hey, you still looking to buy item, X, Y, Z, whatever? And I say, yeah, and they show me what they got, and I've been able to source that way, where you're saying it's kind of hard to source. So building those relationships and keeping them up, not a bad thing. What did you find in the 50,000 cards then?
Nothing. He had a lot of Ken Griffey Juniors, a lot of other things. He had a lot of the cards that I pulled from Phil, so I'm like, there was really nothing there. I mean, I really wanted that Wilt card because I looked it up and it seemed like it had some potential, again, depending on the graded value, but there wasn't anything in there that blew my skirt up. But funny you should say reaching out to people who you spoke with in the past and reaching back out to you. We've been in our home now for just under a year. We were in the process, we looked at several options and we looked at a lot to potentially build a home. And, back and forth, texted this guy, he wanted a lot of money for the lot. And I'm like, not interested. He just texted me the other day saying, hey, the sale fell through. Are you still interested?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird time, but I'm telling you, if you're in an opportunity spot, if you're in a good spot, it's kind of taking advantage of a bad situation, but there's a lot of good opportunities out there. I know the last couple of weeks we went off about them, but even in reselling world, there's people that are just quitting, getting out of the business, will sell you their whole inventory. There's people that are going through and trying to find things to sell now because they've been laid off. They might be laid off for a while. A lot of people have lost jobs. I don't see it's taking advantage of that, but you're taking advantage of the opportunity. They need money. They're willing to make a deal on things that maybe they weren't going to sell. Maybe the market on collectibles has came down, so if you're willing to, buy certain things and hold them for a couple months. Even right now, Nintendo Switches.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, you can't find them. I mean, this is harder than when they came out. They're going for, $500-$600 depending on the packages and stuff. So I got one. I don't really play it. I played it a little bit with my brother and brother-in-law. We used to mess around a little bit, but I'm just going to go sell it in some of the games. And, in a couple of months, if I miss it, I'll buy me a new one. But there's a lot of opportunities out there. Board games like Adam's always talking about. Start going through your closets and see what you have, because right now is a good time to clear some clutter and spring clean, but make some money. And just because people are trapped at home, things are moving that traditionally wouldn't be moving, or for dollar values that they haven't been going at since they were brand new.
Yeah, there's a lot. Can I tell you a product placement that just came across my marketplace that's amazing?
Go for it.
These guys, the view from the cheap seats, like it's a podcast that they have buried right into the Facebook marketplace.
Well, maybe I need to talk to our advertising department and see if we can place somewhere like that.
Yeah, I mean, if we get people looking right on there and you throw in the DeathPiles and Taxes podcast, maybe we get some more downloads, man.
Hey, we're always looking for more downloads. It's kind of a weird thing, and we don't get into it a whole lot, but I've been listening. I listen to podcasts about podcasting, and I listen and read different articles as we go. Apparently, people listen to a lot driving, commuting to work, at work, so actually overall podcast numbers are down right now because people are just at home. And
unfortunately, we felt that a little bit too, not crazy amount, but yeah, same thing is numbers are down a little bit, which is when we talked about originally, everybody thought numbers might go up, but yeah, I guess if you're at home, you're not going to watch podcasts, you're watching Tiger Kings, right?
Yeah, you're watching the Tiger. Well, not with the kids. I was talking to a guy at work, and he's rewatching the Tiger King. I told him he needed to watch it, and he was telling me that his kids kept interrupting and getting in the way when they're trying to watch it. And I said, "Oh, that's no show. You should be watching with children." But I guess I don't tell people how to parent, right?
No, that's one of those weird out there type shows. So, yeah.
And there will be that's the other thing with these Husky sections. Some of them are kind of relevant, so I'll probably roll out one at least this week, maybe next week. We'll see. This 50-plus hour work week. I know I sound like a whiner because I actually have an opportunity. I got opportunities that a lot of people don't have right now. I, getting overtime, making double time, actually doing very well for knock on wood for the economy and how everyone else is. But trying to fit in our podcast has been a unique opportunity, but we've been able to do it. So we're still hitting those numbers, hitting our goals. I'm kind of happy about that.
I do. We sold something yesterday, and I got to go find it out of the eBay room. It was a tin Remington sign that has like a fly fishing theme. I don't even know why it's sold.
Yeah, that's one of those things. I mean, people are just at home, and the most random things are kind of going. Some things make sense, like we're talking about some of the video games or some of the board games, or I don't know, that type of thing. But then there's just some things I'm like, have you just been wanting to buy that for 3 years and you haven't had a chance to sit down and cruise the internet because you're too busy with life? I don't know. But like we were talking about last week, too, with the whole stimulus coming out, a lot of people are going to be spending a lot of money online. Actually, with Amazon FBA, there's Adam flashing his cards at me. You guys can't see him, but he's just like he's got a poker hand of thousands and thousands of dollars.
I forgot that you could see me, so...
That's why I kept saying, where's these cards you got? And you're just telling me about, which is cool, but no one else can see them, so it doesn't matter.
That's true.
That's a fat stack. FBA, a lot of the dates have been pushed back to delivery times to be like 4 to 7 days instead of the 3-day guarantee. And even on some things, it's going back months. So I know I talked about this for the last couple of weeks, but I need to keep hitting it up, is if you are on eBay right now, you have an advantage over Amazon, which happens never.
Yeah. That
you can get your stuff to the post office, especially if you can have a quick turnaround, and you can do a 2 or 3 day. You're actually going to be more preferred for people buying birthday presents or items that they need, that kind of thing. So don't let this opportunity slip by you. Also, people are kind of scared. They're saying if the post office shuts down or I don't want to go to the post office. I want to remind people that if you go to USPS.com, you can schedule where they will come to your doorstep and pick up from you. So you don't even have to go out. And it doesn't matter how much mail you have. If you want to schedule an exact time, you do have to pay, I think it's like $20 or $40. But if you don't schedule, it's free. So if you're stuck at home anyways, you got all your stuff, you can just schedule. They'll come to the door. You can leave it outside however you want to do it. They will pick up all your items. You don't even have to go to the post office. So if you're home with kids, if you just don't want to get out and be exposed to a lot of people, that's another opportunity to take advantage of it.
There's no excuses. No excuses right now. You can do stuff. You should be doing it. I do see a lot of people saying their death pile has turned into their stock pile.
That's good, man. I'm glad people are moving, and I don't know, some people are having really slow sells. I haven't noticed that at all. If anything, mine's above average, especially for this time of the year. Usually, you start getting in that spring, and then you get in that summer slowdown coming out of January. Well, even November to about February is usually pretty hot. So take advantage of it. I mean, it might not be crazy numbers, but if things are moving and you're listing it, just keep that going. And I'm telling you, once the stimulus money gets here, whenever that is, people will be spending it online. That's just how people are. So you need to have stuff for people to buy.
It's definitely interesting. It's crazy times. I want to share with you something that I found. People keep asking me, is COVID-19 that serious? Here, listen. The casinos and churches are closed. When heaven and hell agree on the same thing, it's probably pretty serious.
It's probably pretty good. Hey, actually, Vegas. So I was going back to Vegas mid last month or something. I had it scheduled and it got canceled. Vegas just extended that. They're closed for an extra month with the casino. So
wow,
it's serious. I mean, some people get hit a lot harder than others, but I don't want to find out where I'm at on that scale, and I hope other people don't have to either. I also had a a trip. We were going to fly up to Seattle and go over into Canada. I had this all planned for the end of the month. That's canceled. I'm not doing that. So it's if anything, it's an inconvenience for a lot of people, but it's a lot more serious matter for other people. And like you're saying, when the churches and the casinos agree, that doesn't happen a whole lot.
No, it does not.
Well, Adam, I think that's the week, man. I don't know. You got anything else? I haven't even got derailed. I'm in a pretty good mood, all things considered. You're over robbing Phil of all the good cards, and I'm selling things, so life's good.
Life is good. Like it says, there's opportunities when things are slow. You just got to be able to know when to find them, know when to do. That's the hard part. Is we don't want to. You don't want to overspend right now. Times are interesting, but go out and get your money, get your chance, find a way to make money. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, get creative in whatever your niche is. Go find people. You know what things are worth. Make offers. Something else I was going to say is during the spring seller update, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I've been utilizing. You can send offers to people, and eBay's extended that to where if somebody looks at your item, I think it's 3 or 4 times, you can send them an offer.
Nice.
If they have an item in your cart, they're added to it. Even sometimes people will put something in their cart and then just leave and not purchase it. Maybe give them 10% off or whatever. We'll push them. People that have saved, watchers. So every day I get about 20 or 30 offers I send out, and that's been, I'll discount it. I'll give them $5 off, $10 off, depending on what the item is. But that's turned into sales too. So be creative, make offers. If you see something out there that you know is undervalued or that you find, like our buddy Mike who will be coming on, he got a steal of a deal, and I think part of it was how the guy listed it and the keywords he used, but Mike was able to find it because he's looking for that kind of thing. The other thing is just the timing of everything. So if you're looking for deals to even turn around and flip, it's a great opportunity right now.
It is. So
well,
I got to run.
Might be people. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I got to run. We're ready to get cranking on it. My next thing. Derek, can you tell me? I know you got another good story. Let's hold it for next week. But hey, what are those 2 things that are certain in life?
Well, we know there will always be DeathPiles, and of course, you have to pay and get rid of those taxes. So DeathPiles and taxes. That's a weird way of saying that.
Ladies